before a movie named Jaws came out in the summer of 1975, the major studios had a more or less standard strategy for when they opened their movies. They brought out their so-called major motion pictures in the fall, the winter, and the spring. When the hot weather struck, the big guys went on vacation, and they let the small producers move in with summer schlock like Beach Blanket Bingo. But then the producers of Jaws wondered what would happen if you let summer movie audiences go first class with an expensive and stylishly made thriller. In that case, there must be a pretty big great white out there. It was really very simple. Jaws was a magnificent machine for scaring us silly, and every time the shark attacked, millions of summertime moviegoers screamed and they levitated out of their seats. And Jaws actually surpassed Gone with the Wind to become the all-time box office champion. It took in eventually $215 million. And the movie industry observed, it computed, it learned. And there hasn't been a summer since without a lot of big-budget productions set up to scare us out of our wits every 5 minutes. Now, last summer alone, we got Alien, the Amityville Horror, and Prophecy, and eventually we can probably look forward to Jaws 3, and Jaws 4, and Jaws Forevermore.
You're right. Jaws, scary films every summer. There are more theaters available for the summer. That's why so much business is done. The drive-ins are open. Who goes to the drive-in? Kids. Kids love to be scared, and horror films are great pictures to make out in. You can grab the woman or man you're with. Also, there's one other reason why Jaws was so influential and so easily imitated. Because it was easy to be imitated. I think horror films are probably the easiest kinds of pictures to make. The formula's simple. Show somebody afraid, show the monster that they're afraid of, show the monster attacking them. It's as easy as a pie. A comedy is much tougher to do, for example.
Because his next film was Jaws, and Jaws was a very focused, easy-to-describe story with a shark that was eating everybody on Amity Island, and the shark had to be stopped. I once asked Spielberg to name his favorite private moment in Jaws, and he said it was the scene you're about to see, in which Roy Scheider, the police chief, swears at having to dish out some scraps for the shark. We laugh at that, and then we see something that stops our laughter. Great line. That was the first time we see the Jaws in Jaws, and it's a full hour into the movie, and that's one of the secrets of Spielberg, that he was wise enough not to show us his monster right away, as was done with the subsequent Jaws pictures that he did not direct. And what he liked about that scene was, you hear we bleeped out what Roy Scheider says, but he said he would sit in the back of an audience, and he would wait for that moment because the audience would laugh when they heard the obscenity, and then scream. And so he turned a laugh, he said he enjoyed turning a laugh into a scream. And when you know that about him, then you can tell that Spielberg obviously enjoys manipulating his audience. I like the idea of him sitting back there waiting for that moment, guiding and directing the audience. And it's true, when you are in a Spielberg film, there is a sense that someone else is in control of your mind and your eyes. He is not just content to throw random pictures at us. He wants to run us and run us ragged, and we certainly experienced that in Jaws, the film that made him a star director.
There's no doubt in my mind that Steven Spielberg makes just about the best pictures of anybody for seeing with an audience. I remember seeing Jaws in 1975 with about 1,200 people in Chicago. The audience would levitate simultaneously, 1,200 people, and then they would come down laughing with relief in a way because there was fear in the reason that they were scared and so forth. This is interesting, the way that he does what Hitchcock used to say that he liked to do, play the audience like a piano.
And I'll tell you another thing that he's doing. You're right about Suburbia. You have it in Duel. And you also certainly have it in Jaws with this exclusive little island. Here's Roy Scheider away from the big city cop, and now he's on the island, and these incredible things happen. And I think what Spielberg also knows, because he grew up in suburbia, is that he imagines he's the filmmaker now for the shopping center theater. Think about it. You have all these suburban people. It's not downtown with the people dressing up going to movies anymore. It's all these people driving into the parking lot, going to the suburban theater. They're boring. They're all dressed with the same little emblems on their clothes. They go in, and wow, they see people just like them, and then boom, something exciting happens. You got all these people hoping that something will happen to them that's exciting in their suburbs, and he delivers it.